Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing the book turned film Twilight. But before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you all so much that subscribed to my channel. Thank you to everybody who commented and liked and watched my it's okay girl and watched my previous video. I've been posting on YouTube now for about over a year, and I do it because I genuinely enjoy the process of filming and editing. I'd still be doing it even if the engagement is low, but being able to interact with everybody and being able to read some of your comments and get some feedback on my video was honestly really nice. It felt like I was in a big old group chat, and it was hilarious, informative, and I absolutely loved it. So hopefully we can keep that up. But yes, let's get into the video. So if you haven't seen the movie Twilight, or if you haven't seen it in a while, maybe you need a little refresher, don't worry. I'm going to be reading the plot summary on Twilight. I'm going to be reading the plot summary on Wikipedia. Feel free to join me or read along. And I'm also going to be kind of jumping in with, I guess, a commentary of sorts. I gandered over the plot and it's not hitting on some of the points that I wanted to hit on. So I'm just gonna kind of interject in between explaining the movie and what I found annoying and problematic about the movie Twilight. 17-year-old Bella Swan leaves Phoenix, Arizona and moves to Forks, a small town located on Washington State's Olympic Peninsula, to live with her father, Charlie, the town's police chief. Her mother, Renee, is married to Phil, a minor league baseball player whose career often keeps them on the road. Bella becomes reacquainted with Jacob Black, a Native American teen who lives with his father, Billy, on the Quileute Indian reservation near Forks. She makes friends at her new high school, but finds the mysterious and aloof Cullens siblings particularly intriguing. Which, can you blame her? I feel like the Cullens' whole vibe was intriguing. They're all adopted siblings that are romantically involved with each other. That was quite the choice. I honestly feel like they would have been better off just either one playing ball, just you know what I mean, playing the part and just been siblings at school and doing whatever they wanted outside of school just to keep up appearances. Either that or they should have been homeschooled, especially Jasper's feral ass. They did not need to have him around those kids. Like, he was doing too much. Bella is seated next to Edward Cullen in biology class on her first day, but he seems repulsed by her. And did. He looked like he was gagging. He looked like he was about to be sick. And this is what pisses me off about the movie too, because why was Bella at all intrigued by that? If I was sitting next to somebody and they're literally gagging, and not only that, she catches him in the guidance counselor's office trying to change his schedule so he doesn't have to be in the biology class with her. And like, she knew that it was her. Like, she knew that there was like a personal beef and had every intention on approaching him about it and confronting him about it. But like, what does that even look like? What would you even say in a situation like that? Hey, I noticed you gagging when I sat next to you the other day. Like, what do you even say? But I digress. After a week's absence from school, because he was gone for an entire week, avoiding her, Edward returns and socializes normally with Bella. And then like nothing, just is like, "Oh, how are you? What are your interests?" and making light conversation with her. Like, what? Be so for real. A few days later, she is nearly struck by a skidding van in the school parking lot. Edward instantaneously covers a distance of over 30 feet, putting himself between Bella and the van, stopping it only with his hand. He subsequently refuses to explain his actions to her, warning her against befriending him, which we have another issue here. One, he was like straight up trying to gaslight her into thinking that they were somehow next to each other whenever he had stopped the van from hitting her. And whenever she confronted him about it, he was like, "No one's gonna believe you. Shut the hell up."
Shut the hell up, bitch.
Those weren't his words exactly, but that's the vibe that I got. And then he was like, "You're not letting this go, are you?" And she's like, "No, I'm not letting this go." And then the same night, he was in her bedroom watching her sleep. I would have immediately took that as a threat. But Bella, of course, was like, "Oh, I was dreaming of him," because, he dipped out real quick. But no, he was stalking her. Jacob tells Bella about a long-standing animosity between the Cullens and the and the Quileutes, and says Cullens are not allowed on the reservation. So I don't know if y'all remember that scene, but Bella goes to the beach with her friends that aren't really her friends. Like they're, I feel like they're friends, but it's like it's a very distant. And I feel like she didn't make a lot of an effort or a big enough effort to be chill with them. She was just literally obsessed with whatever the hell Edward had going on. And there's this one scene where they're on a field trip and Edward again is being like standoffish towards her. Like he initiates conversations with her and then just does a 180 and turns into an asshole and is like just so short with her and rude with her. And then again, I just don't understand why she was so intrigued by him. It literally would have taken him gagging at my presence for me to be like, okay, I think that I'm gonna leave this person the full fuck alone. But no, not Bella. Bella was determined. Like she was like, because think about it, Bella came into the school hot shit, all the boys were on her, and she was like, he doesn't fucking want me. No, I don't know if that was her thought process or not. Maybe it was because he was so mysterious, but honestly, okay, so fast forward, Bella is out on the town doing research about whatever Edward is and about Jacob's tribe, trying to figure out the correlation between the two to try to figure out what Edward has going on. Edward appears out of nowhere and saves Bella a second time. After much research, Bella concludes that Edward has mysterious powers that resemble a vampire's. And mysterious powers being, you know, stopping skidding vans with one arm, running 30 feet real quick to stop said van with one arm. Apparently, he could read minds. And if I were Bella, like, she wasn't skeptical at all. She was like, you can read minds? So whenever he saves her for the second time, he, I guess, okay, so Bella's in a situation where she's surrounded by a bunch of dudes, obviously up to no good. Edward comes in and saves the day. Oh, how did he know that she was there? He was stalking her. He was following her for her protection. But I digress. So apparently, when he rescued her from the group of guys, he read their thoughts and tells Bella this, which it's like, if you're trying to keep it a secret that you're a vampire, why the fuck would you tell somebody that you can read minds? Like, what game are you playing here? I'm so confused. But he tells her that he can read minds, but the gag, y'all, he can read everyone's mind except for hers. I would be like, shut the hell up. Because, okay, if somebody told you that they could read minds, what's the first thing you're going to say? You're going to be like, what number am I thinking of? What color am I thinking of? What am I thinking of right now? So he couldn't even prove this to her. And her old gullible ass was just like, yep, like, he can read minds, and was just okay with that. Okay, so as it says, she eventually comes to the conclusion that he's a vampire. And her first thought is, let me go into the woods alone with this vampire and confront him about it. And she does. And Edward confirms, which I don't know why he just didn't continue to gaslight her and be like, that's ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Vampires aren't real. Like, look, I'm outside during the day and there's my reflection or something. But instead, he was like, nah, say that shit out loud. I'm a vampire. And so is my whole family. And exposes his probably what's to be his biggest secret and his family's biggest secret that could result in them getting killed if he shared said secret with a 17-year-old girl that he's only known for what? Not even a month? Nice. And not only that, but he goes like on an entire tangent trying to scare her, like, I'm stronger than you, I'm faster than you. And then like he's glowing in the sun and shit, and literally tells her that his skin is the skin of a killer. Like, why would you ever do that? And I don't know if Bella was playing the long game. Hear me out. What if Bella was like dead ass scared and was like, oh shit, he could actually kill me. Let me pretend I'm cool with all of this. Because why in the world would you tell somebody, hey, like if somebody found out that I was a vampire, I'd like, hey, I'm the cool kind. I hope you can keep a secret, bitch. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you should absolutely be scared of me. Like, no, that's crazy. Okay. He eventually confirms this, that he's a vampire, but says that he and the other Cullens only consume animal blood, which is kind of like, I feel like if you only eat animals, then it's kind of like I wouldn't even bother telling anybody that I'm a vampire. I would just be like a normal person, especially in their situation, because they weren't the type of vampires that go out in the sun and burn. Like, I would just be like, yeah, I have a shimmy butter. I got my Fenty highlight on and left it at that. Because what are they going to do? It's like, oh, your skin is a little shiny. No big deal. They fall in love, and Edward introduces Bella to his vampire family. Carlisle Cullen, the family patriarch, is a doctor at the Forks Hospital. Esme is Carlisle's wife and the family matriarch. Alice, Jasper, Emmett, and Rosalie are their informally adopted children. The family's reaction to Bella is mixed, concerned that the family secret could be exposed. And by they say that the family's is like their reaction is mixed to Bella, they're referring to one person, and it's Rosalie. And I hate that they made her seem like she was an asshole and a bad guy, but I feel like her feelings were valid. They literally entrusted a 17-year-old girl with this secret. And I'm like, I feel like it would be one thing if they had known the 17-year-old girl for an extensive amount of time, but I just feel like they didn't know her well enough to be like, oh yeah, she's totally chill with this. And I should have killed her. I'm kidding. But they definitely should have gotten a better handle on that. I would like just tell her you're a vampire and that this is a new development for you, Edward, but don't drag us all down with you. Because that honestly does suck. Because they already have like their group. You know what I mean? They keep it low key. And here he goes telling random ass bitches that he's a vampire. And I don't know what Bella's obsession was with him. He literally was like holding back from killing her and tells her this, and she's like, you're not gonna hurt me. Like, wow, that's real confidence in somebody you barely know, bitch. Edward and Bella's relationship is jeopardized when three nomadic vampires, James, Victoria, and Laurent, arrive in the Forks area and are responsible for a series of deaths being investigated as animal attacks. James, a tracker vampire with incredible hunting instincts, is excited by Bella's scent and becomes obsessed with hunting her for sport. Edward and the other Cullens protect Bella, but James tracks her to Phoenix where she is hiding with Jasper and Alice. Okay, now there's a particular scene in the movie where the Cullens are trying to get Bella, they're coming up with a plan to get Bella somewhere safe. And so one, she has to fake this whole fight with Charlie, her dad, and then act like she's running away. And at one point, Carlisle, okay, Rosalie is like, why are we covering for this bitch? Like, no, real shit. Why are we covering for her? Like, I told y'all this was a bad idea. Like, I don't want to be a part of this. And then Carlisle is like, stop. Like, she's one of us. She's family. And I'm like, what? I so wish that my previous in-laws were this welcoming and this supportive. Like, oh no, she's rolling with us. She's one of us. Like, absolutely not. This is so crazy. And it's like, this is a 17-year-old girl. I would have been like, this kind of feels like wrong. At that point, it's time to get parents involved. In my personal opinion, I'd be like, okay, I know we don't want to share the secret any further with anybody, but we absolutely have to tell her dad what's going on. And it's like, as a parent or a fake parent, that Carlisle and Esme are, I feel like they should have considered that. Like, I don't know if any of y'all have kids, but like, you know what I mean? Have you ever caught your kid's friend in a situation and you're like, okay, we're gonna get adults involved here? But no, they whole ass just were like, okay, she's her own person, which yeah, she is, but what kind of situation is this? James lures Bella into a trap at an old ballet studio. He attacks her, infecting her with vampire venom. Edward arrives and, after a ferocious battle, subdues James just as other Cullens arrive. Alice, Emmett, and Jasper kill James, decapitating and burning him, as Edward removes the venom from Bella's wrist, preventing her becoming a vampire. In the aftermath, she has suffered a broken leg, is hospitalized, and is hospitalized. Like, and at one point, do you say, I'm good? Like, there's other people that I could probably be dating. because this just does not seem worth it. That's a lot. Because the Cullens are fine. They're not hurt. You know what I mean? Physically, they're okay. They're fine. And here she goes, broken leg, all fucked up in a hospital bed, dealing with the dude. And then Edward is finally like, "Oh, hey, you should probably move back home with your mom. You know, we can't risk you getting hurt again." And this bitch over here talking about some damn.
No. No. How? I don't even know what you're saying. How? What are you talking about? You want me to go away? I can't. No. I.
Girl, like, have some dignity, please. Their overall dynamic was just so frustrating for me because I don't know how the hell Bella fell in love with him. Like, I feel like maybe the book explains more and their dynamic is expressed a little bit further and they're not just this superficial couple, but their interactions were just so like, y'all don't even know each other like that, and you're over here willing to die for this person. It's a lot. It's giving a lot. And Edward kind of weird too, because I'm like, she's 17, you're like 100 something. Upon returning to Forks, Edward accompanies Bella to the high school prom, where he refuses her request to transform her into a vampire. They are unaware that James's mate Victoria, is secretly watching them, plotting revenge on her lover's death, which is a lot. That's definitely a lot. Like, she really got involved in some shit dealing with Edward. And the fact that there were people that were Team Edward at all, and just the fact that their dynamic was so wishy washy just from the beginning, it was very hard to tell. Like, in a real life situation, I feel like it would be difficult to tell if he actually even liked her. There have been so many times, at least in the first two movies, where he's like, "We don't need to be together," and tries to shut it down. And she's over here like just thirsty as hell. And I guess when you're 17 and you're in love for the first time, that seems okay, but it's not okay. None of it was okay. And she was just a little bit too quick for me. Just like, "Oh, she loves him." Like, based off of what? Him gagging when he sees you? Him stalking you? Him creeping into your room in the middle of the night and watching you sleep? And it's movies like this that romanticize these types of relationships that I feel like there are some girlies till this day that end up in shady situations. And I'll admit, I was one of those girlies in my late adolescence slash early 20s. Just because it's like in your mind, it's like, "Oh, cool. Like, yeah, there's all these red flags." He's literally saying, "I'm bad for you. I want to kill you." And she was like, "Sign me up." She was like, put me down. Put me on the list, put it in permanent marker, sign me up for this shit. And was totally down. And I'm really not sure what the appeal was for Edward. Why was there a team Edward? Why were people rooting for their relationship? To begin with, it just seems so wrong to me. And then it just, I don't know, their whole relationship just escalates. After the second one, if I was her, he literally, like, it's like the beginning of the movie too. He's like, "Hey, me and my family are moving away." And at that point, I'm sorry, if I've broken my leg and have been hospitalized and there's now a bitch coming after me because I'm in a relationship with you and got caught up dealing with your vampire shit, oh no, we're staying together. Either we're staying together or you're handling my lightweight, aka I think it was Victoria. Is that her name? You're handling Victoria's ass and leaving me the hell alone. But the fact that he left her high and dry in the second movie, for her to essentially be killed, knowing damn well that Victoria was going to be after her, is crazy. Like, girl, he does not love you. The fact that they ended up married by the end of this is wild to me. And I am a fan of Twilight. I just have to throw my logic out of the window whenever I watch it, just to, enjoy it for what it is. And this is why I low-key wanted to compare it to 50 Shades of Grey, because it's giving the same vibe where it's like the stoic love interest that's wishy-washy. They're like, "Oh, I like you, but I can't be with you because of this. I'm not emotionally available. I can't be emotionally available to you because I'm bad. I'm bad for you." And the girl that wants to be in an emotionally involved relationship is like, this is the one for me. This is the man that I'm absolutely going to marry.
For a man,
Yes,
look at the screen.
that's mine. And,
And
I'm going to stick beside him.
It's crazy. And that's why girlies are so delusional now, because it's like they think that being, and I don't want to say all girlies, and I've been that girly before too, so I'm not judging, I promise. But girlies that end up with dudes that say shit like, I'm not good for you, and think that that shit is cute. It's not cute. That's scary. That's wild. I low-key feel like Belle is the type of girl to lust after serial killers, because I mean, that's what it's giving. Oh, thirsty ass. Well, that's all that I have for you today. Let me know in the comment section what your favorite scene is from Twilight, or your favorite part of the book, or what you found most disappointing about the movie Twilight. And of course, if y'all have any other movie suggestions, I do have like a list of movies that I do want to talk about. And I'm really glad that out of all of my videos to make the algorithm, I'm so glad it was these types of videos, because these are honestly my favorite to record. I love talking about movies. I love movies. I took one film appreciation class in college, and now I'm like all about it. I'm also thinking about, which I could be jumping the gun here, about doing kind of like maybe like a streaming thing where we're able to kind of talk about movies and stuff in real time. Just a thought. Let me know your thoughts on that, and we can definitely try that. But in the meantime, I hope you have a beautiful day. It's like 2 a.m. right now. I don't know what I'm running on. I'm running on ambition at this point. but I hope you have a beautiful day or beautiful night whenever you watch this, a beautiful weekday or weekend whenever I post this, and I'll see y'all next time. Okay, bye.